The year is 2021. We are live at the School of Multidimensional Intuition. Well, not really live, we are pre-recording. And the reason why we are here today, this is a first-time event that we are having on this strange channel. And what we are doing here today is a little bit of a school report. It's also a little bit of a graduation ceremony. It's also a little bit of an awkward introduction for just, a number of people in our larger spiritual community, and also for the new people that are going to be coming in after this, because we are at a stage of our journey in which a literal whole new movement is taking place on the earth plane. People that are going through this quote unquote awakening process, this sort of dimensional shift, as we take more ownership over the changes occurring on the energetic plane and also within the physical body. People's consciousness are changing, people's abilities are changing. And if you're watching this channel, you will know that the primary focus of what we do in our programs here and the work that I do as an individual is on helping the human, just the human mind, body, spirit complex, learn how to heal and really advance our consciousness in this realm. And so over the past 6 months, starting in April of 2021, myself and my wife, Nora, began the first phase of a full-time intuitive healer training program, in which we took a group of 12. Well, actually, in the end, it turned out to be 15 individuals through essentially a pilot program, a 6-month journey in which we did 12 private sessions, 12 group sessions, a number of other little things here and there, little recordings and tidbits. But the whole idea behind it is that I discovered, and many others discovered, that upon really concentrating energy into the human body over a repetitive period, over a number of months in certain specific ways, elements of the self begin to arise. They begin to change, what many people on the earth plane call your intuitive or psychic abilities. They can actually develop. And many of us on the earth plane have figured out a number of tricks and ways to do that. But when we discovered that there was an entirely individual process for each person and began to act as such, allowing each person to develop and grow and kind of work with their own frequency in their own ways, we began to realize that people had much different results. And so here we are 6 months into this journey, in conjunction with the private sessions we've been doing, in conjunction with the group meetings, and also the third and maybe the most kind of secretive and least understood element of the whole thing is this technology known as Rife technology. And so there's a number of places in which you can educate yourself on Rife technology, what it is, how it works. It is a technology created by Royal Raymond Rife many, many years ago, and has been kind of one of the suppressed technologies within the healing world that's been of use on the earth plane for a very long time. Now, I myself have been very recently acquainted with Rife technology, and after purchasing a few units earlier this year, myself and my wife began to notice immediate results in the work that we do as professional intuitives. And it was just undoubtable that it had a value going forward for those of us that were learning how to really open up the human energy field. So fast forward to a few months later, and we've been doing, I think, 6 months of Rife treatment therapy. We've been doing a number of private sessions. We've been doing group sessions. And moreover, the best part about what we've been doing, I think, for a lot of us here, is that people are starting to share their gifts and the things that they've picked up. They've been working on skills. And a lot of these people that have been with us, they're very established in their own right. It's important to mention, we did not give anyone the tools or the keys to understanding their own abilities. We just held the door open and allow people to go in and kind of explore in their own way. And so the things we've been doing over the past 6 months is exchanging our frequencies, learning from each other. And really, honestly, I have learned more with this group of people than I ever have in anything that I've done in my life. It's taught me more about myself and what I'm capable of in watching what these people are doing. And honestly, it has opened and warmed my heart. You can feel me getting emotional in such incredible ways. And so anyway, if you guys know me, you'll know that I will ramble on forever. We're going to start just introducing some people, and I'm going to let the people just kind of introduce themselves. I'll go through and call you guys out, and let us know who you are, what you're doing, how people can find you on the earth plane, and then we'll do some other questions. And so to my left, we're going to go with the first person here, and that is Miss Sophia Forbes. Hello there. How are you? Thank you for being with us over this 6-month journey.
Well, my name is Sophia, and I have a YouTube channel called The Sorcerer's Librarium, and where I'm going to be teaching about how to I guess, cultivate magic or tap into like the fourth dimensional realm and manipulate the fourth dimensional realm for the purpose of healing and expansion. And so that has come through this year, mainly because of this group and this 6-month program, and working with you and Nora and all of these fabulous people in the group has just helped me so much to step into my own power and my own abilities, and then just build confidence within myself to actually step forth and create this stuff for like the spiritual community, or just humanity, I guess, whoever taps into my information. My website is blackfoxintuitive.com.
blackfoxintuitive.com. Thank you. I think it's really important for the people that are going to be seeing this to know that the individuals here have created something real and that they are accessible on the earth plane, because I think there are a lot of people within, just this soul family that are doing incredible things, but the world will never find out. They'll never hear about it. There is no avenue or stage or place for them to, show themselves. And so thank you, blackfoxintuitive.com. We're going to slide over and we're going to introduce Rachel Pinto. You're over here on the other side. Hello, how are you? Thank you for being with us on this strange journey. And yeah, who are you?
Hi,
Exactly?
hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Rachel Pinto, and I live in Brisbane, Australia. I am an intuitive energy healer, I guess is the best way to describe it. And I pretty much just work with my higher self and the other person's higher self, and receive the healing and the messages that the person needs to hear. And I guess it's like a triangle. I form this like a golden triangle. That's how I see it, between my heart and their heart. And then it just connects up to source, and I get all of the healing that someone might need, the subconscious healing, parallel lives, anything that needs to show up. And yeah, the name of my business is clearskiesmindset.com. And if I were to say what's happened in the last 6 months, I would say the kind of sessions I used to do before and the sessions I do now are so different. And I had to really take stock of that, because, even though I always think I'm intuitive and, I can channel, what I do now is like so unique with everyone. Like every session is different, and like it's hard to describe, but it just is really, I honestly have up leveled, I think, and that's thank you to Matthew and Nora and all of the wonderful exchanges I've had with everyone here too, because we've done, so Matthew's paired us up every week, and every fortnight, and we've done exchanges, and those exchanges have been incredible as well, because I've received healings from people on this group that have been just out of this world. So it's been such an incredible 6 months, and I'm grateful that it has been 6 months, because I've gained so much from it. I can't even describe how much.
Thank you so much. Clear Skies Mindset. And we have Jihae rolling in the room there. I was almost got sidetracked on my screen down there. People that know me will know I get easily sidetracked by the chat window. So somebody will be talking and I'm like, oh, I'll get pulled over to this window. But hello, Jihae, good to see you as well. We're gonna slide over and do another introduction. Mr. Adam Hull, who has been a really, really big part of this. I got a chance to hang out with Adam in the physical world at a conference earlier. I think it was just a couple weeks ago. Feels like a long time ago now. But I can absolutely vouch for the true professionalism, having viewed it in my own right alongside my wife and just really watching Adam work. It was a really, really cool thing. But anyway, how are you? Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. It was a real pleasure meeting you, and this group has been really life changing. I've been down this weird rabbit hole for, probably 20 years, but I've had one foot in, the 3D world and one foot in this world, trying to walk that tightrope, and that doesn't work. Anybody who's walked this path knows if you're not fully authentic, it's not going to work. And yeah, so in the last year, the universe kind of forced me, closed all the other doors, and forced me into this line of work. And that's when I met you, and the safe space you created, the non-judgmental attitude, and the pure, the pure practicing and feedback has been really validating and helped me, you know, break through, you know, my own blocks. We all have those blocks. So I've got a diverse toolbox of stuff I've learned on my own, stuff I've learned in this class. And you can find me at adamhall.net. I've got about a dozen offerings on there so far, including a 6-month program I've put together, similar objectives to this, but my own style. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you to all of you.
Totally. Absolutely. Thank you. It's adamhold.net, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. It has been an honor to have you with us over this strange 6-month journey. And we're gonna slide it right over. I know it's like 4 a.m. there. So thank you, Nora. Thank you for being here. But hello there. How are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm good. I'm really good. So I am Nora. I'm 29 and live in Switzerland. Currently, I still work as a nursing assistant, but I also do energy healing work and intuitive counseling. And I also connect with the higher selves of the clients and myself. And I like to work with the elements. Sometimes I work with colors, and yeah, I receive messages that I share. And yeah, I have a website that is nora-healings.com. And the past 6 months have been really intense. And for me, it was kind of like a forced evolution, I would say. I think this process of just personal growth and spiritual expansion and healing would have otherwise took me years. And this program really helped me to just unlock so many elements of myself and overcome so many blocks and heal so much. And I also appreciate everyone in the group, and thanks to all of you and all the practice. And yeah, I was really able to gain a little bit more confidence. And I would have never thought that I would be doing something like this professionally. But yeah, now here I am, and it still feels kind of surreal and magic. And yeah, really grateful for everything.
Well, I love it. Thank you. And so your website is Nora, and is it, you said minus, is that like the word minus, or is it a dash?
Yeah, it's a dash.
So say it again.
No, Nora-healings.com.
Cool. Thank you. Nora-healings.com. And are you actually taking, are you available to see clients now? Are people able to book you on the site?
Yes, people can actually already book.
Okay.
The website is not 100% finished yet, but people can book if they like.
Oh man. Okay. I am excited to see what happens when they do. As a person that has received the distance healing from you, it is one of the most effective and palpable that I have. And I think people that do a silent or remote style distance healing, I think that kind of opens doors or will force people to learn to connect with non-physical energy in a whole other way, because you don't have the interaction, that like direct interplay in the moment. And I just think that is a very, very unique and really, really cool way to work. And so anyway, thank you. I'm excited to see how that goes for you next.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. And so we are going to move on to I'm just going to say it. I'm going to make it really, really awkward. If there was one person in this group that did a very, very similar thing that I do, that even creates the same type of sounds and the same sort of tones and the literal frequencies that I just somehow organically started doing, it's a trip, but it is Heather J. I mean, honestly, like just whatever it is that you're doing over there, it is so deep and ancestral and real. And just anyway, how are you? Thank you for being part of this weird group.
Thanks, Matthew. Thank you so much. So I wrote something just so I could keep it to 2 minutes and hit all the points that I want to hit. Hi, everyone. My name is Heather, and I started remembering my mission in 2017 when I was diagnosed with cancer. I immediately conducted some very heavy detoxes on my body, and I started meditating 1 to 2 hours a day. Once I purified my body and connected to the universe, that's when the magic happened and my abilities came rushing back. Communication between my angels and ancestors occurred, and they started guiding me towards my soul purpose. I dove deep into educating myself on energy and sound healing. I joined Matthew's Blue Flame Collective in October of 2020, and in April, I joined This Strange Group. And this program has been one of the most, if not the most, pivotal experiences of my entire life. Matthew and Nora taught me so much, but one of the things Matthew taught that stuck with me was the scalar toning. I started using my voice in unique and crazy ways. This brought seventh dimensional dolphins and whales to me in order to help me use this modality for healing both myself and others. I created healing protocols, which you can find on my new website, knowthyself.me. We started working on each other in the group, and as I connected with all of these awesome healers, the downloads that I was receiving from the universe went from a trickle to a flood. It was synchronous. This group gave me the courage to branch outside of my comfort zone. I'm so grateful for you, Matthew, and I'm so grateful for Nora, and I'm super grateful for all of the beautiful and powerful healers in this group. You've brought me closer to myself and my soul purpose, and for that, I will be forever grateful. And now I'm ready to help heal the world with my dolphins and my voice.
God, I love it. I'm like almost, yeah, thanks. You guys, I'm over here getting a little bit emotional. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Say your website, knowthyself.me. Is that it?
Yeah, knowthyself.me. It will be live on Monday.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. I pray that some of you guys that see this check out what Heather J is doing, you guys, for real. It is a very, very unique and powerful thing. And so yeah, we're gonna keep the ball rolling. We're gonna slide it on down there to Mr. Matt Adams, and I'll probably embarrass you a little bit, Matt. Many people don't know this. Matt and me and Nora have been working together for a while now. If there is any person that I have met that is a literal giant like this, oh my Lord, just a giant on the energetic astral plane, like capable of reaching and touching and experiencing literally anything, it is Matt Adams. And honestly, it's really good to even see your face in here. How are you?
Oh, wow.
For real, dude, for real. You know it's true as well.
Oh my goodness. Well, wow, thank you so much for that introduction. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for these last 6 months but also for this last year where I've gotten to know you and Nora and also benefited from, the healings that you provided as well as the insights that I've received from you too. Like throughout my life, I've wanted to be and even saw myself as a healer, but I've never done it like professionally at all. But I've had like practices of meditation throughout my life and whatnot. And in the last year or so, I had like definitely had some challenges as well. And with the insights as well as healings that I've received throughout this year, but especially in this 6 month period, it's like the experiences what I'm experiencing, I've been able to use it to help other people. I've been able to use it in a way in which it's actually healing to others. And I've also gained some confidence in knowing that like some of the experiences that that the experiences that I'm having are actually real, and also like the things I'm seeing when healing others, that's real. It's real. I'm really helping people, and so yeah, I'm just very grateful for all the growth that I've experienced. So I don't actually have a website yet. I don't have a website yet. I see it coming up. It will actually be up within like the next month. I'll have it up. But it's been interesting. I've actually had like a couple people just reach out randomly for sessions without it. So, but I will have a website up pretty soon.
Nice. eventually it will show up, and I'm really excited to see what it is that you're going to be bringing just on a more public level. And you will find that spirit, kind of exactly as you're saying, they will bring you people. Literally, it's this weird thing, like it's like you don't even tell the world, and somehow they just sort of angle it so these people roll in and they're like, I heard you do this thing, or it'll be this accidental meeting in this strange, you know, moment, and the doors will kind of open. And I think that's something that a lot of us within this group are experiencing already, and I think it's something that if you have not yet, as one really throws themselves into the what I could call, sounds cheesy, kind of like a lifestyle of spiritual service, they will literally bring you those who are in need of what you have to offer. And anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing what that is. And yeah, thanks, Matt. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So we're going to keep the ball rolling to one of my favorite people in this strange group, and also one of the people that we got to meet and hang out with physically, probably a true inner earth priestess or some form of ancient witch. And I say that in a very loving and awesomely mystical way. But Miss Carissa Hanners, how are you? Thanks for being a part of this weird group. How's it going?
Hi, thank you. But I'm Carissa. I don't know. I'm still figuring out all of those terminologies of what you're seeing in me. This whole experience has been really wild for me. Even when we very first started out, like I remember that Matthew, what he said to me was, he was like, "She's a psychic and she doesn't even know," and
Yep.
you know. So this has been a pretty crazy ride for me. Like I didn't really know what to expect out of it. I think what I've enjoyed the most is honestly just the community of just being able to like be friends with everyone and um, really have everyone help me put words to things that, you know, I have just kind of been rolling around inside of me my whole life. Cause I think through my, you know, own trauma in the earth plane, I think I turned everything off, you know. I think that's kind of what our society kind of pushes everyone to do, is just turn all of those, all that's crazy. And, you know, it's just dreams and da, 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 and turn it all off. And, you know, I've always known inside that it's more than that. But I think having all of you guys kind of help me put words to the things that I felt inside and really like understand myself a little bit better. I think I've gone through a lot of healing, and everyone in the group's amazing with such different modalities, and just being able to really like learn and understand myself, I think has been like key for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you as well. Can
Yeah.
you tell us your YouTube channel?
Oh, it's just Rissa, like the last half of my name, like Carissa, so without the CH. So just Rissa. You can search me that way. I don't have a lot up there yet, but we'll hope to change that
Nice.
along the way.
We look forward to seeing what you're going to be bringing out in the near future, especially more of the portal work. I think for those of you guys that will search back on your videos, there is the portal clearing process that you did a few months ago, which was, I think, one of the most uniquely powerful and totally organic, just space clearing. What's the word I'm looking for? Processes that I've seen in a while. And so, anyway, I hope they'll check it out.
Thank you. I appreciate
yeah.
that.
Thank you for being a part of this strange group. I love you. Seriously. Thank you.
Love you
lots. Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Okay. As I get weirdly embarrassed and emotional so many times in this video already, this is definitely my most embarrassing appearance yet, which is really cool at the same time. And so we're gonna keep it rolling over to Brooklyn, or AKA Chapman. But Brooklyn, to everyone else in the internet world, how are you? How have you been over this last 6 months?
Oh, wow. Well, my situation's been a little different, and I was really beating myself up that I had not made myself available. I had to go to New York and close out a timeline, right? 20 years of my life. And a big, like, weird thing happened before that totally knocked me off my axis. And then I was like, I'm gonna give up. And Matthew was like, no, you're not. And Yvonne was like, oh, hell no, you're not. You know, Yvonne there are a couple people that have been with me on this journey. I mean, when you have the experience, but not the framework, and then I'll give you an example. I'll be quick about it. I had a vision of my friend eating a hot dog at a place that I've been to with him only once. And just as a joke, it was here in town, and I texted him and I said, I can't believe you're having a hot dog without me. And he freaked the F out, called me immediately. He's like, where are you? I was like, in my house, bro. And he said, no, where are you? Really? I said, no, really, I'm in my house. And he said, that's crazy. Right when you sent the text, I was lifting the hot dog to my mouth. And that's exactly what I saw. So he actually posted something about it. Things like that have been happening for a long time, and they happen ever since I began this. So I was feeling disconnected from the group. I was feeling a little bit other, if you will. And when I got back from New York, the energy for me, of course, within myself had shifted, because this big thing that had been on my plate was now off of my plate. It was like weighing heavily upon me. And I asked if I could continue in the next group. And when I heard the answer yes, I got super excited, because I felt very fractured the last couple months. It's one of those things where when you have these experiences, whether it's I call it one of the clairs, because I feel like I don't know which one it is I have, but I've got them. And down here, we just call it being woo-woo. So
Totally.
I want, you know what I mean? Like, Matt's laughing because you must be Southern. So, and I think people, for the most part, accept that about me. I'm like a very eccentric Southern person that lived in New York City for 20 years. Okay. And I don't have a website. I don't call myself a healer, but I have something to contribute to the world. And I had to like separate the wheat from the chaff in all four cardinal directions, plus above and below and front, behind, you know, like, and my confidence level, thanks to you and Nora, and Adam was the first person I worked with. And Adam and I had all these great synchronicities, which was, you know, emoji. Now I'm ready to step into it, or as we say in the yoga dharma world, like take your seat. And the seat of the teacher is kind of where the word asana comes from. I'm Jiva Mukti Yoga certified. I spent a summer in India studying with Sri Patabi Joyce. I've been Tibetan Buddhist in the lineage of the Dalai Lama since 1999. All of these things have prepared me for this. So I'm so grateful. And now I want to share that and figure out a way to articulate what happens here so that I can truly help people and share that, because it's important. I see a lot of, and it's to the point too now where people come to me, you know, my friends, like I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, you've been a great encouragement, and I'm very shy. I didn't realize I was so shy. It's kind of a weird thing.
Oh, I love it. It's just really good to see your face on camera. That is the thing, because a lot of people out there have seen you know, like in chat rooms and on shows, and like, boom, now here we are live with Brooklyn Way. Thank you for being a part of this. Also, honestly, this is the sort of timeline I have been seeing, you know, this whole time, and now I'm going to say it publicly. You're going to create a YouTube channel, and you're going to do a podcast or something. I can see it. I can feel it. It might even be born out of, you know, utter weird, some sort of like a crisis, but you'll be like, damn it, here we go. Boom. And then suddenly it will start, and the ball's going to start rolling. But yeah, thank you for being a part of this. Yeah.
Thank you for accepting me. And even that was so typical. And then I'm done. What happened was the very first time I caught you live, my God. So they talked to me, and it's very specific. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like I hear a voice. I call them hits. Totally. And I know a hit versus like an idea or ideation. They're different. They have a different energetic frequency. And the hit was, you need to sign up for this program. And then I forgot. And then I was like, oh, I'll hit him up. And then I told you I wanted to do it. And you were like, yeah. And then I sent the email, literally, like, it's such the 11th hour. And you had, I guess, walked away from the computer. And when you came back, I was like, they were going to close it. And then they took me. And now I get to extend into furthermore, you know, the next 6 months, which, because I feel like I got so fragmented with that move and stuff. So I'm so grateful. But anyway, yeah. And it's been so amazing getting to know all of you. Adam and I had a great session. I haven't worked with that many people in the group, you know, again, pursuant to the other stuff that was going on.
That
So,
makes sense. You're gonna get a whole
but
new. You're gonna get a whole new group of them coming in. Don't worry.
it sounds like it's going to be a fun group. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
thank
gonna
you.
be
It's
cool.
going to be
Yeah.
a blessing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. I think that's one of the things that we'll mention. Not everyone that comes into this strange program is here to be a healer or a professional intuitive. We have people that are, meant to be the communicators. We have, the spokespeople, and we also have community organizers and people building and structuring this sort of new earth social structure. And hopefully that's an accurate depiction. But Jihae, thank you for being here. You're kind of down on the bottom of my screen. Thanks for hanging out down there, and thanks for being with us the last few months. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, so I remember that when I met you on at this conference, Darcy conference at Cocoa
Darcy
Beach.
Adventures.
And yeah, so I just started actually embarking on my journey. So just a couple of weeks before I met you, I quit my 3D job at a big tech company working in management. And I felt a little bit lost, but I knew that there's going to be a way and that spirit will lead me the way. And when I got at Cocoa Beach, because I wanted so much community, because I felt like as if I hatched somehow into a different world, and there was no one around there to hold my hand and to teach me what to do, and to bring me closer to service, and to discover more who I am. And I remember when you were starting with, yeah, guys, the new earth, it's you. And I thought like, oh my God, I have to get to know this guy better. And then you told me about, or the group about that you are about to create this new group, the training for, within the Multidimensional School of Intuition. I thought, oh my God, that's actually, I have to figure out what that is. And so I'm so grateful for everything, particularly just, so first the healing, the regular healing, and it was really like with you and Nora, as if I had like physical guides, not just like spirit guides, but physical guides who are guiding me the way. I'm able to exchange actually everything which was going on in my life, because I was traveling in South America and had a couple of really interesting adventures, and it was so helpful to check my timelines with Nora and with Matthew, with the regular readings we did, with the healings we did. It was really, yeah, really a journey which helped me so much. And also with the group, because that was actually also one of the amazing experiences, just to see how this group evolves, because first we were just strangers and we were all at the same place. We were just like, okay, we have this intuition and we might be healers, but where's this journey going? And it was first a little bit like, okay, we don't know each other, like, but somehow we got all friends. So by having this Telegram group and yeah, sharing our stories with each other, and having these regular calls, and yeah, and by doing healing work on each other, we were able to exchange our amazing individual frequencies. And that's also one of the really powerful things within this group, that we grew so much by learning so much from each other, and also encouraging each other, seeing the potential of each other. And it was so important to tell it all to each other, because we were all like, yeah, hatched newly, and we had to figure out who we are. And it was so helpful. And I'm super grateful for this group. And thank you so much, Matthew and Nora. I know that you also did a lot of sacrifices. But it's it's been amazing for all of us. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being live from, I think it was 3 different countries during our journey, like all over the world. Seriously, Jihae has been on this literal worldwide mission somehow. It has been a trip. Honestly, I think you're like a secret agent, like working for some sort of like an alien group here on Earth. And maybe like you don't even know it, but they're sending you all over the world. And you're like, why am I going there? What am I doing? And yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for being a part of this strange family. And so here's the deal, you guys. We're not going to keep everybody too long. I have, I think, 3 questions that I'm going to ask, and whoever wants to answer can answer. I would love to hear from as many or even as few, whoever wants to answer. But just to give us an idea, because this is a very important point in time, whether you're one of the people in this group right here that's going into the next stage of something that you are, putting forward, whether you are a person who's going to view this at another point in time that wants to learn, that wants to figure out how this thing works. Or maybe you're one of those people that's just awakening and you're in that state of craziness or chaos or wounding, and you're trying to figure out all this wild stuff going on in your life, and you don't know where to turn, and you don't know what to do, and you know you need to blank, but you don't know how or when. And so for those people that are going to be finding this in the passage of time, the first question is, how has your process changed over the last few months? Maybe you're a first timer, maybe you've already been doing something. I know a couple of you guys kind of already answered that a little bit, but how has just what it is that you're doing in this energetic realm changed? And whoever wants to answer, just roll on in there. But yeah, anybody.
What I would say the biggest changes that I've seen within myself are really just the ability to feel the inside of my own body. I would say would be the biggest thing that has changed, because when it began for me, it's like things were just black, and I could feel it, but knowing that you could feel it was where things really shifted for me, because I'm like, I can put my awareness on, my, gallbladder or my liver or my something, but that your intuition would align at the exact same time that mine was pushing there, and to be able to have someone else be able to like, oh, okay, yep, and guide me through the freeways or the highways of my own meridians. I think that's been the thing that has been the most impactful for me. And just being able to like really understand kind of a little bit more of the way that my own body works, I would say was probably the biggest thing for me.
Oh, it's beautiful. So
Thank you.
I'm trying to say internal body awareness, or like
Mhm.
energetic awareness. Does that, yeah?
Yeah, I would say that's a really
Yeah.
good way to put it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
I appreciate that. And that also really validates this weird thing where I just feel everyone's stuff. So I'm like, oh, I am so honored that actually has some sort of a use at this stage of my life. So no, thank you. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
as you can see, that is something that can be learned. That internal level of awareness can be learned. Sometimes we just need to have somebody kind of, show us the way. And but yeah, thank you. Does anybody? I know Matt, you had your hand up, and then I know Jihae was going to speak as well. Whoever, which one of you wants to go first? But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, I guess one thing that has changed for me is actually like appreciating the value of the things that are happening, actually seeing it as a gift as it is. For me, like when the like voices started coming in or whatnot, it was like, oh my God, this is crazy, because it was just so intense. And I just, thought it was being hysterical, but like during when I'm actually doing a healing session with someone, or even when it's actually being done on me, it's like I'll almost like Carissa, where essentially I'll hear a message and then basically you say something, or when I'm in a healing session with someone else where I'm doing it, it's like I'll hear something and then they like are able to confirm it too. And so appreciating the value in that gift, also appreciating the value in the the many things that come through as well. um that's one thing. And then also just having a lot more trust and knowing that I'm not like I guess you could say defenseless
Yeah.
against like what's going on. I'm actually able to communicate now with, the beings that like interact with me, and even the people that interact with me as well. So those are some of the changes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. It is really good to see that we can help people, and it's not so much that it's me or anything that we've done, but you coming to your own experience of realizing that we are not victims in this energetic realm, and that we are not these helpless victims of these unseen energies, and we think that's just how I am, that's just how how it is. And we absolutely are not. And so that's a really good sign of that. Thank you, Matt. I know we had Jihae next, and then Brooklyn, but yeah, Go ahead, Jihae.
Yeah. So I remember when I started here that I was not familiar with healing work at all in terms of that I was performing it. I had a couple of healings before, not so many, and I was not really able to feel energy. I remember that someone, a Reiki master, was trying to show me like, gee, you have to do this, and then do you feel the energy? And I was like, no. So I started there, but I had these downloads. It was actually the only thing I had before, and over time I just was able to feel energy flowing, working with you guys, and also doing it myself. So that was actually also like super exciting to do it. That I was a little pushed over the edge to do it myself and to trust myself and to trust more my intuition, to trust more that I can heal too. And that was actually the most amazing part, just to see that there are these abilities I can tap into, that is, I'm just not making up everything. And also in terms of confidence, yeah, to have the confidence that that I have a role here on this journey, and that I'm yeah, more confident in putting myself out there. That's also like, was also one of the big learnings along this journey.
Oh, I love it. Whoa, thank you. Which translates directly into solar plexus activation. That's the literal activation of the solar plexus, turns on in the body, energy starts flowing differently. We understand we are no longer helpless. There's this new sort of sense of self, or at least it starts. And so that, yeah, thank you. That's a really good example of that. Um, yeah. And so we have Brooklyn as well. Yeah, go ahead.
So prior to me joining the group, I was having, I've gotten over a little bit of my nervousness now. Now I can actually think straight. Took me a second. Piggybacking on what Jihae just said, the confidence and the ability, and then also what Matt said, it's very hard to find blah blah that fits into how to describe, because so much of the work that we're doing is not in the blah blah sphere, it's in the frequency and energetic sphere. And so the challenge for me has been to figure out a way to articulate it. And Wordsworth that I mean, shocking that I'm at a loss for words, because that rarely happens. Things like when I was getting a Reiki session from Yvonda. So when I got to a certain point with my lamas, I was accepted into the secret studies program, which there are prerequisites in order to be able to study certain practices, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. We were taught this meditation called creating a capsule. And it's when you move you envision the Merkaba in your central channel, and you create this compression and you move it up and down. Now, technically, I'm not supposed to talk about it because I have vows, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, well, but we're doing that. And she was doing a Reiki session on me, and I found myself in this place where I was moving the Merkaba, but I wasn't. So it's a 6-pointed, for those listening who don't know what a Merkaba is, once this goes onto your channel, it's like a 6-pointed star that's 3-dimensional, right? And in Tibetan Buddhism, Vajrayogini lives in the middle of the 6-pointed star. And so the practice of moving the Merkaba is when you're like creating this like pressurized thing inside your central channel. And there's all these visualizations, like spinning the chakras, like when you start to, and I would always feel like, I don't get it. What are they talking about? And I tried, I'm like, so I received the practice, I received the teaching in 2006, or maybe even later than that. And I didn't have the experience until this year. And it was when I was in this Reiki session. Not only was I inside it, but I was able to go micro macro. I was inside Merkaba, and then the Merkaba was inside of me. It was like, it had a color. It was like a pinkish fuchsia. But what was crazy is when I was inside of it, this is hard to explain verbally. There was one thing rotating this way, and there's another thing rotating this way. and it's concurrent. And that's when the chakras, like when the wheel is spinning, it's the Sanskrit word for wheel, chakra. It's called spinning the wheel, which is really funny when you hear people say they're spinning out. It's always like,
Oh, it is though, very much. Yeah.
Yeah, the telepathy thing grew stronger. I also started doing these groups with Divine Fractal, and I started tapping in a lot to Vivian Chauvet because I have strong Arcturian connections. So these are things that, and this all kind of started to come together in the last 2 years. So that part I didn't really mention before. Yes, I have the spontaneous remote viewing. Yes, I'm psychic and all that stuff, whatever. But this other stuff was huge. Or like when you were working on me one day, and I'm sure others have had this experience, whether with one another or with Matthew. Well, first of all, he knew when my concentration was aligned with his and when it wasn't, which was crazy. Awesome. Also, because I would like get into a spot and he'd be like, exactly, okay, good. And I'm like, wait, what? I would hear these pressurized noises, and we talked about it. It happened twice in 2 different sessions of the one-on-one sessions. So these are not like, I'm not imagining this. We're not imagining this. But once you create, like drop a little density and create the ability to get into that space where you can interlocute with those frequencies or those energies or whatever. And that's really been a huge benefit for me working within, these parameters with you and everyone else in this group, because things have been happening that I can't explain, and I've shared them privately with Matthew and a few of my friends, but otherwise, it's all just been sort of a like paddle out and ride back in, Anyway,
no, it makes makes sense. Sounds like it's been very expansive, and like if I were to look back on like the content of kind of like what you've been explaining here, is it sounds like you are having the true experience of opening up into that multi-dimensional space, and you start to notice in this way that you're able to even articulate, whereas we weren't able to do it before. It's like now I even have some of the words or a greater understanding. And anyway, I might be making it more awkward and cumbersome, but yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And so we also have Sophia over there. Go ahead.
Yeah, to just tie into what Chapman was saying, like feeling that this is actually real was like a big thing for me too. And before I started the group, I was just doing like sessions with my clients that were like oracle card based or like tarot card based. And then I was tuning into their spirit guides in that sense, but I wasn't doing any like physical healing. And that like completely shifted when I started working with you guys in the group. My way of like healing or like my energy healing were completely shifted into something entirely different. And so I knew that this was coming because my guides had told me like in December of last year that my entire framework is just going to be shifted, if that makes sense. But I wasn't sure like what was going to happen. And I was like, okay, so like what am I even supposed to be doing? And it like being in the group really helped solidify that for me. And so I was able to kind of move into like energy healing for the physical body, and then working with like the energy bodies and the astral realm and stuff like that as a result of being in the group, which was really cool to experience because I had never done that before. I was only just speaking to spirit guides, which is also really cool, but it wasn't that. So I guess that's like, to answer your question, like that's exactly like what happened for me. Like that was my progression forward.
Absolutely. It feels like it's been a very, very natural and organic one for you. I mean, even though there has been a lot of, like bumps and bruises along the road and kind of like different understandings of self, I think you are truly one of the most like organic versions of just that like awakening and the further activation of this step and then these being showed up and then these ones should. It's like it's been in perfect timing. And so anyway, yeah, thank you. Thanks, Sophia. And so next we have Nora. I know it's early in the morning over there. How you doing? Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good morning. It's 5 a.m. here, but I'm doing great so far, really enjoying it. Yeah, what changed for me with this program was before that I just did an energy healing course, and I joined some of your classes as well. But I still had a hard time with discerning what is mine and what is not mine. And I always had these, yeah, you could call them visions and just impressions and images in the internal realm, and these intuitive hints. And sometimes I knew that I could hear my guides because they like to communicate with songs, and they have a very special type of humor. And so I know when it's them. But yeah, you just really helped me to clean up the mess. And by now I can hear my guides talk and just communicate on a different level. And yeah, thanks to, I think, also the clearing of all the meridians and stuff, it's much more easy for me to tell what is mine and what isn't. And I didn't do things like channeling messages before. I always just thought it's random thoughts, or it's just stuff that my mind makes up because it's bored or something like that. Yeah, and you helped me realize that this is actual information that I can use, and just helped me develop and gain confidence in that. And like the others said, realize that this is real. These are actual experiences, and just very much also reconnect just to my true self that I was very disconnected from for a very long time. And yeah, for those who want to see a Merkaba, actually, I'm holding one just in case.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
Well, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nora. Thanks for being a part of this once again. And it is really cool to see you as well. One of those people who we have come to the understanding we are definitely not a victim, and there's something that we can do. Like there's something that we can do. And in many cases, we'll be teaching it to others. And I know I've never said that to you before, but I have a feeling you're going to be showing people how to do something in the future. It's like this, some sort of a process that you're going to be demonstrating people in a public way. You will probably cringe. Knowing you, you'll be like, oh God, no. Or maybe you won't, but I'm excited to see where that goes for you. That was also, I just want to say this before we move on to Rachel. Honestly, as a person who does this on a professional level, to have someone tell you that you're helping them understand that it is real, because for me as a young person, and I had been through so much weird shit growing up, and like as an adult, even as a married adult male working in a just real world thing, so many weird things were happening in my life, and I did not know where to talk about it or whom. And when I tried to talk about it with people, they'd be like, no, that's not how it goes. So-and-so on their blog said that's not how it is, therefore you're fake. And so there was no way for me to figure out what was real and what wasn't. So it really means a lot to have you guys say that. And yeah, anyway, thank you. And we're gonna quickly move on to Rachel. How you doing over there?
Hey, my immediate instinctive answer to the question you asked, Matthew, was it's made me ready. And if you were to say ready for what, I don't know. And it doesn't matter. But I think the biggest thing you've done for me has been to make me ready. Like so I get a lot of random visuals, and I see like this Jack in the Box, where I've kind of stayed in my box, but now this Jack in the Box is ready to spring up. I don't know what I'm going to do, or if I'm even going to do anything, but it just feels like I'm ready. And the other visual I got was, when I grew up in India, we would ripen fruit by putting it into this little black basket with rice or something like that in there. And the fruit would just naturally ripen in there if you had to pluck it off the tree early. And I feel like this course has done that for me. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like a weird comparison, but it's made me ripe in that sense. Like this has been my ripening process. I can't imagine I'm using that analogy, but that's the only one that's
total
coming.
Sense, though. It totally fits.
Yeah, maybe because of the color shirt that I'm wearing, I don't know. But yeah, and I'm so grateful for that. And I feel like I can claim that now. I actually say, like, I just say out loud sometimes, I'm ready now. And I never realized I had to claim that before, but yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love that little signal from spirit there as well that I heard. That happens in so much in sessions. This little ding or this little sound will happen. But oh man, thank you, thank you. I am honestly, you have been ready for lifetime after lifetime. But I'm just really honored that we can do this. And so, if there are no other comments, we're just gonna do two other questions, you guys. We're gonna do two other questions. Anyone can answer. And the second one is, this is kind of the awkward one. This is the one for me. Okay, this is where you guys are going to be answering for me, and me and Nora, the ones that are putting this together. What would you want to see more of? Because other people are going to roll in here, and you guys are the first ones. You're the first group. What would you want to see more of? What things would you want to learn about or do or just take part in? Like in the future, is there something that you would add to these type of courses? Anything that comes up? I know that's such an awkward question, but it's good to know. Anybody?
Maybe like more like group activity thingies, like group exercises and stuff,
Excellent.
or like topics.
Cool. Excellent. The cool thing is, in round 2, we're bringing the class dynamic back in there as well. Yeah, no, thank you. So more of a more group involvement, group stuff. Cool. Anybody else? Anything else that you would add or that you would want to see happen in the future? Go ahead, Jihae.
Yeah, so within the group, I would totally enjoy best practice sharing. So what is everyone doing
yeah.
for protection? What is everyone doing for manifestation? What is your individual super style? And then to share, and then everyone can take something out of the box and bring their own stuff together. So, and that's actually what I also really appreciate within the group, that everyone has totally their own style. And also with you and Nora, you both too. And that was also something which I liked immediately, that you are putting all these different things together which don't belong at first sight. And but that's actually also our group, right? So everyone is doing that somehow, and we're learning from each other. But we can probably do a little bit more.
Oh, I love that. Best practice sharing. Well, honestly, that's a really, really good idea. Wow. Okay, cool. Thank you. Hopefully we will be discussing that more in the months to come. Yeah, thank you. It's very helpful. Anybody else? Anything else you would want to add or do more of in the future for the people that are going to come in here later? Anything else?
I've got one.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I really liked, eventually through class, I got most everybody's birth chart information, but I would like having that at the beginning, because I feel like I know enough about astrology to where just glancing at things, I can kind of see how people respond to certain things, or like, okay, well, your moon is there. So, okay, so I get that. I feel like having that from the beginning would have been helpful. There was one other something in general. I just would love to see you teach more. I know I've told you that I just would love to see you teach more. And maybe understanding, I think I texted you this, I think in Telegram, was understanding what your definition of the different clairs are. And
that's
like
happening because of you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Seriously, good idea.
Well, because I really would like to know like what each one of the people in group actually view as their own clairs too, like I don't really know exactly all of the things that I feel like my clairs are, but I know that they're probably different from what everyone else is. And seeing what that is like at the beginning of like what I see my strengths are probably aren't what you see my strengths are, and watching that to be able to morph and grow over the group would be fun too, I think.
That is a really good idea, and we are actually doing that. Seriously, that I read that and I was like, okay, instantly, boom. So yeah, I know, very, very helpful.
Well, cool.
Very, very helpful, you guys. Anybody else?
Cool.
Any suggestions or even changes where you're like, I don't know, why do we do this? Why do we not do that? Anything else you would add? I know sometimes that's a bold thing because this is going live, like you know what I mean? We're gonna show the whole thing. I'm such a weirdo like that, but yeah. Anything else? We can also move on to question 3, which is probably the funnest one of all. Oh, I see somebody over there. Matt, go ahead.
I don't know, maybe even more of the practice stuff, like that, because that was, oh my goodness, that was absolutely amazing for me. like being able to practice on other people and also receive theirs, because basically, you get you just get ideas of like what works and what doesn't. um oh man, it was something else. Well, I guess even, I mean, it's just the thought that actually just came to me. Even like more like suggestions kind of like built in related to like websites and best practices,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
totally. Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. Thank you, thank you. You guys are helping us build the next round and the round after that. And so, yeah. Anybody else? We're gonna do question number 3. Any other suggestions? No. Okay, here we go, guys. This is question number 3. It's gonna be kind of our final question. We're not gonna keep everybody too long, but having learned what you've learned, having gone through, the last 6 months of this journey, the bumps and the bruises, the traumas and the triumphs, all of the emotions and every bit of this thing that we've all been on together. And I say this publicly, it has also been training for myself. It has been training for myself and also in Nora, having been through all that we've been through over these past 6 months. Because here's the whole thing, you guys, a whole new group of people on the earth plane are rising up. And whether you believe it or not, you're looking at the faces of the teachers and the guides and the people that have signed up on this earth plane to be of service to this new group. And so for the people that are going to be finding this in the, like the time stream, what do you think people need to know about truly developing your intuitive abilities and stepping into the line of a healer or the mystic, or even just remembering who you are? What do people need to know? I know that's a really broad question, but now that you've been through this, what do you think? Go ahead. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
I think that oftentimes the distortion of self-limiting belief systems impedes our ability to give ourselves permission to do something that if you're at a point, or like I asked someone the other day, how long has this been going on? And she said it started when she was 4. And then by the time she was 12, and then it took her a while to figure out. So there's people who, are generationally working within that space. But I think that that permission is the word that's don't allow old paradigms to force a filter of dictation on whether or not you give yourself permission to do something simply because you've been taught or told that that's something that other people do. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
having a group like this is super beneficial because we can all connect and share these experiences. But I think that the distortion of those self-limiting belief systems, I think a lot of people call it negative self-talk, but what I'm talking about actually goes a little deeper than that. Also too, when people are constantly saying like, you have to heal the trauma. I mean, one of my goals in this life is to take that whole phrase out of the lexicon. Heal the trauma, heal the trauma. It's starting to sound like rhetoric to me. Once you get on a certain path, if you know that you're here to heal the trauma, it's like DUH, duh. But what does that mean? It doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. And then it becomes a platitude, or if you enter into the realm of spiritual gaslighting, it actually becomes like a virtue signal. I've seen a lot of that. And so, and you can feel it when you're listening to the person on their channel or whoever it is, because it'll feel flat. It'll feel like condescension, or it'll feel like it's vapid. And you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Anyway, that's just one thing that immediately came to mind, and I had to get it out. And now I'm done.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Be real. I love it. Thank you. Who's next? Jihae, go ahead. What do you think people need to know after you've been through this whole strange journey that we've all been on? Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's actually about allowing yourself to be weird. It's about being curious about the stuff which is coming up. And I remember that I was just not paying attention before to these things, and now I'm just more curious and like, okay, if I do this weird tone, or if I'm doing this, what happens? And also shutting out the inner critic then, and just to allow it to happen. And it's just working with the group that's just very encouraging, because we are encouraging each other, and we are also acknowledging, and everyone is very individual, and there is not such a thing like this is the right way. um, Everyone has their own right way, and it's about exploring it.
Finding your own individual path. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, and Miss Rachel as well. Go for it. How you doing?
So mine's very similar to Jihae's. I was going to say, it's about learning to just be you and be comfortable in being you. Like for me, that's been the thing that's always been evolving, and especially in this course, just being comfortable being me. And that's including and especially following those nudges, the nudges that seem strange and weird and, things I would brush aside or not do before or not share with someone. I'm doing that now. And I feel like, yeah, just following those nudges. And I don't know, I feel like I want to say this. I feel like humility as well. I feel like the more you get comfortable in what you do, it's like there's this confident humility that comes with it. I don't know, that's been the case for me at least. So I don't know. I just added that bit in just now. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to seeing some sort of like a channel or a thing that you're going to do in the future. And I think you could just do a thing where you just talk. You just talk to people and something will come out, because you're very easy to hear. Like just like the way your voice rolls and like the cadence of it, it's really, really, yeah, it sounds really good. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then Nora as well. Go ahead. What do you think people need to know after this wild, windy road of strangeness over the last 6 months?
I would say very similar to what Brooklyn said as well. Just try to let go of your belief systems, and they go really deep. So that's something that I realized, and just be open also to experiment, because maybe there are people that come in who already have an idea what kind of energy work or in what direction they want to go and what they want to do. But just try to be open, because what surprised me the most, I would say, is just the information I received from you and Nora about abilities that I didn't even know I have or that I could develop. I just didn't see that coming. Like things like you mentioned, for example, the astral tattooing. And I didn't think that that's a thing that I could do, but the more I tune into it, it's just this feeling that if it resonates and I get it, then I know how to do it.
Yep.
Or another example would also be the thing with the mists. I create mists where I combine tools and things that you can actually not merge, but it is possible. I figured out a way. And yeah, that was super interesting. So I would just say be open to experiment and forget everything you heard before. And yeah, don't listen too much to other people.
I love that. Yeah, thank you. I also have had to unlearn many, many things, especially when it comes to energy. And it's not that any one person will know the right version of anything, but it's like when we sort of unlearn and allow something to kind of drain out this new sense of self or understanding. And honestly, like you were saying, new, just new things that we are capable of doing that we had no idea were there, very much like the astral tattooing thing, which is by my understanding, one of the actual types of what we might call extraterrestrial healing technology. And just like one of the forms of, it's almost like basically putting a hologram on a physical space. It's like a holographic form of, I'm not sure what the word I'm searching for is, but it's, yeah, literally real. And I'm excited to see what you'll do with it. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Adam as well. How you doing?
Good. This is a big topic. I'll try and keep it short, but I think something that's very important to address is the polarity that's happening. We're moving ascension, we're moving beyond duality, and the polarity of everything's getting stronger and stronger. If anybody hasn't noticed, And going off what Chapman and the others were saying about our limiting beliefs, that includes judgment. We talk about being in the end times and judgment day. It's actually non-judgment day. Non-judgment day is arriving, and it's very hard because we're all being pushed to extremes, but there's a certain point where the extremes go so far it snaps. Like you can only pull so hard, and that's kind of where we're going, is the alchemy of moving beyond duality, merging opposites. As long as there's an opposite, we're in illusion. And this good bad, I mean, yeah, we're all here to learn what's good and bad, but it's all to make us grow. But we don't need to suffer through growth anymore. And that's where we're at. And it makes you go crazy, but that's where we're at. And this is something I'm going to be talking a lot about with the people I work with. And I think it's a very important topic to include, of how do you transcend these extreme times, these extreme judgments. I mean, violation of human rights, that's, if that doesn't trigger you, might want to double check,
Right.
And so, yeah, it's a very difficult thing to, move beyond, but it's
Thank you.
something we all have to look at.
Thank you very much. Transcending the cycle of duality. I feel you. Thank you, Adam. I'm excited to see what you do in that area. And yeah, we will move on to Matt Adams. Go ahead, Matt. What do you think people need to know after this strange, wild road we've all been on?
Just like one thing is that we definitely get more of what we ask for. So, if we're actually approaching things from a level of fear, especially, on the like higher dimensions and whatnot, it's almost like the thought and the what we're searching, what we're attracting is like the same, essentially. So, like, you know, when developing intuitive abilities, or like when astral traveling, or when having like the strange experiences, seemingly strange experiences, the approach dictates like how the experience will actually be. So if we're approaching from fear, then we'll actually get things that cause more fear. But if we approach it with curiosity and wonder, that's what we'll receive more of. So
Thank you. Absolutely. The tone changes everything. I think there was another person there. Was Carissa, were you going to say something as well? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest thing for me is that I wish I wouldn't have wasted so much time like worrying about if I was safe in the group. Like, I think I was real nervous in the beginning and I needed to just, let it out. So I think just knowing that it's a safe space and that you have that everyone else is going to be supportive of you no matter where you are, because I think we're all definitely here for the whole do not cause harm. So I think that's probably the most important thing that I think anyone should know, is that you're safe.
Wow, that's actually that's a really, really good thing to hear. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's just, that really means a lot to me. I think that also really, that was a big deal for me. I think coming into certain groups and other weird projects that I had done in the past, is like you really don't know what you get, and you really don't know like what are people attaching to, or you know what I mean. There's always all kinds of additional frequencies. No, thank you very much. And so, unless anyone else has anything they would like to add, we're just going to make a quick statement here before we go out the door. I'll leave the door open. Anybody? Okay. So here we are, guys. So for those of you that will see this in time or in the future, whenever it is, just look at the faces of the individuals here, wherever we are in this realm, whoever we are at this stage of the journey. Remember that in 2021, we took this strange journey this strange process to understanding a deeper level of the self, to understanding what it is people are doing here, how does it work, and what are these strange, abilities that humans actually have. We are probably one of the most amazing species in this strange physical realm, and there's so much magic that we have to offer. And so I'm deeply grateful to every one of you guys for being with me on this journey. You guys have taught me, I think, more than probably a lot more than we've taught you in a strange way. But I love you guys. Thank you for being with us. And for those of you that will see this in the future, you can join the next group. We are starting in October of 2021 in only a few short weeks, and we're going to be allowing people to roll in probably for the next month or so. As we get this new team started, we are accepting 20 people on the earth plane that are ready to kind of go into the next stage. And you can find out a lot more about it on my website, rememberyourmission.com. And you can also subscribe to us on this channel if you just want to stay on top of, the stuff that we're doing and just see what it is. We post almost nearly everything for free on here. This channel has no ads, and it will remain as such. And so, yeah, feel free to stop by, check out what we're doing. But if you're ready to go to the next level, if you're ready to have a whole new experience, and for a lot of us, it is a defining factor of understanding that those phantoms, the strange things, this, odd, mythical, unseen realm, it is literally real. And there's ways that we can figure out how to navigate it, how to work with it, and honestly, what it is that we're actually doing in this body, in this life. Not that we have any of the answers, because the reality is we don't, but we are learning how to create a space for people where they can figure out their own. And for me, that is an invaluable thing. It is one of the greatest honors of my life. And so thank you guys for being part of this journey. We're going to go ahead and cut it here, and we will see you in the future. Thanks for watching the School of Multidimensional Intuition. And please find us at rememberyourmission.com. We're going to be posting the websites and how to contact everybody here in the description underneath, so you guys can check out the people here. Please take advantage of these people. These are professional intuitives, people that have gone through months worth of, honestly, lifetimes worth of training and understanding. And we come back into these physical bodies and we go through the path of remembering. And so we will put that information available for you below. And in the meantime, that is it. I love you guys. Thank you for taking this journey, and we'll see you in the future.